Change your heart, change your life, change the planet.
Hey everybody, it's Tim Van Orden, and today I'm going to start a new type of video on my channel where I pull out quotes from books that I've read, and I literally have thousands of recorded notes from the books that I listen to. And when I come across something that I think is interesting or noteworthy or problematic, but yet popular, I'm going to make a video to discuss it. So today I want to talk about something I read in the book Live It by Jairek Robbins, who is Tony Robbins' son. It's a mediocre effort at a self-help book, and I'm sure it got published because of Jarek's dad. Otherwise, there's really nothing great about this book. And the quote that I want to bring up, which is kind of the foundation of this book, and more importantly, the foundation of a lot of self-help books. I've come across this type of thinking again and again and again and again, and I think it's problematic. So here's what he said. Open quote. What are your limiting beliefs? Once you identify the stories or beliefs that are holding you back from raising your standards, you're ready to take the next step. So, sounds good, right? We have limiting beliefs, we have stories that we continually engage in, and they stop us from doing what we'd really like to do in life. And for me personally, as an incredibly insecure, shy person, this is the type of thought that I really embraced quite a few years ago, but now I see as highly problematic. So a limiting belief sounds like something that you're consciously choosing to engage in, something that you're consciously embracing, which is not the case at all. And if we look at this idea of a limiting belief from the angles of modern neuroscience and also from the etymology of the English language, we discover some really interesting things. Number one, the word belief means something that you hold dear, something that you love, something that is esteemed, something that is quite special to you. And when I say to you, I'm not talking about your identity. I'm not talking about your intellect. I'm talking about your greater being, however you want to define that, to the part of you underneath all of your stories. And the word limit comes from the Latin word limen, which means boundary or threshold. So you have a liminal threshold. If something is below that threshold, it is called subliminal. If you kick something out of the threshold or go beyond the threshold, it has been eliminated. And if something takes place before the threshold, it is preliminary. So the idea of a limit, it's not a place where things stop. It's a place where things change. It's a place where things interact. So before we get into the neuroscience, let's replace the words limiting belief with liminal relief. Now again, liminal means threshold. It means a point of entry or a point of exit, a point of interaction, a point where things change. And the word relief means something that has been raised or something that is arisen. So on a map, when they talk about relief, they're talking about the mountains, the topography, where the ground has been raised. So my idea of liminal relief is really about something raising up until it hits that threshold. And that threshold is our awareness. It's our consciousness. It's our state of being awake and aware. So if something is subliminal, it has not yet been raised up to the point of consciousness. So when we encounter a belief, something we hold dear, something that we love, something special, something that is a major foundational element of who we are, when it gets pushed on, suddenly our unconscious mind, body, being brings it to our awareness and says, hey, this is important. Somebody just said something, somebody just did something that threatens that thing that we hold dear, and boom, I'm now going to bring it to your awareness so that you can do something about it. This is not a choice that you're consciously making. This is not something that you're deciding to do. Like, I'm deciding to limit myself right now. I have a thought, which is generally how beliefs are framed. I have a thought that this is a bad idea and therefore I'm not going to do it. I'm going to procrastinate or avoid it or just find a way to justify not doing it. But really what's happening is our being, which is largely unconscious, our consciousness is just a tiny % of who we are. So our being says, whoa, this is something important, this is something we hold dear, and you're doing something, or something has just moved into your environment that could be a threat to something really important. So let's take evasive action. But the important thing to realize here is that it's not a choice. It's something that's rising up into consciousness, and what you become conscious of is the fact that something you hold dear may not be safe. So you're swimming in that feeling, and you don't even know why, because you didn't bring it into consciousness. It arose. You discovered it. We discover what we hold dear. We discover our beliefs when something pushes on them. They rise up and we become present to them, but we don't choose to be present to them. It just happens. And modern neuroscience supports this. There are many different regions in the brain in communication with your body that are continually bubbling up messages into a network in the brain that becomes conscious, and you're suddenly just awake in its midst. You're not choosing to be there. You're not choosing to have the perception or perspective that you are present to. It arose, it was given to you. The question is, what will you do with it? So rather than getting stuck in this belief that your beliefs are simply words or thoughts that you're choosing to have, instead, I think it's really vitally important to recognize that you are in a moment that you are not choosing. You're not choosing the feeling in your body. You're not choosing the thoughts in your head. You're not choosing your emotions. You're not even choosing the choices that you're about to make. And once you recognize that, so recognition is important here, but it's not a recognition of, oh, I have a thought, I can just change it, because you can't. It's not that simple. Try meditating. Good luck changing all of your thoughts or eliminating all of your thoughts, kicking them out over the threshold. Not going to happen. So what you do instead is you say, I'm in a place right now, I'm in a moment right now, I'm in a conscious state right now where I can simply go with the flow. I can continue running the program that my brain, body, being has loaded, or I can pause. I can reflect. I can look around and I can say, is this actually a threat to something I hold dear? And let me look at this thing that I hold dear. Let me look at this thing that is tender and just got triggered. This thing that my body, being, brain is trying to protect. What is it actually? And is it still valid? This might be an old network in the brain. This might be something that was really important to me when I was 2 years old or 5 years old or 12 years old. Is it still important now? Let me reflect on this. Maybe I need to slowly and gradually and consciously update those networks. And it's not an immediate process. It's not that I can simply say, oh, that's a limiting belief, I will get rid of it. It doesn't work like that. Because it's a physical neural network linked to your body, something that is habitual in a very physical way. You can't just get rid of it. It'd be like getting rid of your finger. That's neither easy nor painless. So this is a slow and gradual process, but it starts with the recognition that something has been raised into consciousness. So there's been a liminal relief. Your body, brain, being said, this is important, so I'm going to bring it up to the point where you're now aware, but not just here. Here, you're going to feel it. You're going to want to avoid it. You're going to want to find a way to minimize it so that you don't have to do it, so that it's not the optimal choice. Can you pause in that moment and reflect, rather than beating yourself up for having a so-called limiting belief or negative thoughts or stinking thinking or monkey mind? Can you let all that go and say, all right, let's just stop right here and let this moment expand. Let's investigate. Let's use our consciousness for what it's really, really good at, which is deliberate investigation. So let's slow things down, let's take our time, let's widen our lens, and take a look at the world that just triggered me to have something become raised to the point of being conscious. And let's also look at the thing that underneath is being protected. What is it? Is it still important? And is it still something that I hold dear? Maybe I've moved beyond that, but the physical networks in my brain have not yet been updated. So let's engage in that process slowly, patiently, gradually, and compassionately. I hope there's something of value in there for you. And please let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are and how you deal with this idea of limiting beliefs. If you like this video, please hit the like button. And if you like this channel, please subscribe and make sure to hit the bell so you get all of my updates. I post a lot of videos that people aren't even aware of, thanks to the algorithms that run the world now. Okay, I will see you soon.